Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I want to show you how you can easily give your footage the Super 8 film look by using texture elements. But let's just watch what we'll be creating. So in Premiere Pro I already have everything loaded in. I have my clips right here, which you just saw. Those were all shot on the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K, which is a beautiful camera, produces some beautiful images, but they are often a little bit too clean and a little too sharp for me. So what I like to do is I like to add some texture to give them some roughness and to give them a little bit of an edge. And for that I already have my two film elements packs right here. They are the Dirty Frames letterbox overlays and the Super 8 film texture elements. They are both available right now in my store. I just released them a few days ago, and now I just want to give you guys a quick rundown on what you get from the packs and how you can apply it to get the best results with your footage. And the reason I've put them out, especially the Super 8 film texture elements, is because I've purchased a lot of packs myself in the past and I was never really satisfied with what I got, because there's just too much fine grain in the packs, which is honestly pretty useless if you put out your work mostly on YouTube and Instagram, because those platforms just will totally destroy your image if you put fine grain on them. The compression will just mess everything up. So let's just start with the texture elements, because the texture is kind of our base here. And as you can see in the file names, it already tells you everything you need to know about the assets. It tells you that it's like this one, black and white film stock, tells you that the element is a film burn, and it also tells you how to apply it to your footage to get the best results. Like this is blending mode screen 100%. This one is soft light 50%. So maybe let's just start with this black and white grain. So let me just put this on top of my footage. And here we see the beautiful black and white film grain. So it's captured with real Kodak black and white film stock, Tri-X film stock. And as you see, it just has some characteristics that you will not find in digital footage. It has these little imperfections, those spots and a little dust, and yeah, it's just, I think it's beautiful. And it's also beautiful that you can add these to your digital footage nowadays. So what we want to do right now is we have this loaded in. Now let's go in the blend mode and set this to soft light. Okay, this looks pretty contrasty to me. So let's set it to 50%. Okay, much better. So without doing that much, you already see what these assets and this grain in particular can do to your footage. It will just give it those characteristics from the film stock and it applies them in a beautiful way to your digital footage. Now we could actually stop right here, but let's just go through some other elements you get. I don't want to show you everything because essentially these are all just different textures, and I hope you just take them and play around with them to get like beautiful results and to discover like new things you can do with them. But my favorite thing from this pack is probably the Super 8 texture, like the color one. Okay, I want to show you the low intensity and the high intensity. As before, we look at the blend mode that is suggested in the file name. This is like light 100. Okay, it's also light 100. Now let's just see what this does to our footage. Okay, we already see it. This doesn't add like grain over the entire image, but this adds more like little textured spots and elements like dust and just little particles that are on the film stock, and which really sell the film look, because film is not only about like the fine grain, film is about the overall texture and the imperfections and everything. And this is where you can really use those texture elements. And as you see, there's low intensity, there's high intensity. These are just larger spots and dust and hair. It's just a little more intense. Beautiful. You can even combine this. Like you can just go with the black and white film grain, set it to soft light, 50%. Okay, beautiful. And now we have texture all over our image. You don't have to follow the suggested blend mode and setting. Like for this, I would probably go a little lower with the opacity, like something like maybe 30%. It doesn't look that intense, but it's still like texture all over it. And you can feel like the film texture. And besides the film grain, there are also film burns in there, which you can use for transitions, for instance. Or you can, it's the same thing, just drag them onto your footage, set the blend mode according to the file name, and there you have it. Okay, this was probably the wrong spot. It's just, okay. So pretty straightforward, pretty easy to use. What else do we have in here? Okay, we also have some bonus light leaks, and these are pretty interesting because what these will do is they will give your footage kind of a damaged look. Like if you just look at the asset right here, it's just some spots popping up. And let's see what it does to our footage. Okay, so this is really interesting. You can also use this for transitions, but you also can just put it on top of your footage and give it like that damaged film look. I think this is just, especially for this shot, it's really gives it some interesting feeling and some interesting textures. Okay, this is it for the Super 8 film textures. And now let's quickly scrub through our dirty frames. As you can see right here, there are different formats in there. There's some 5x4 Super 8 letterboxes, and there is some 16x9, which is more like 16mm. And it's the same workflow as with all the other elements. In the file name, it tells you everything you need to know. Like this is some 5x4, this is not centered, this is like aligned right. This is probably pretty dirty because it says dirt 2. And the blend mode is multiply 100% opacity. So let's just start with this one. We drag it on top of our footage. We see nothing. We set the blend mode accordingly. And there you go. Pretty easy to use, as always. With these letterboxes, you can also play around with the blend mode, because what will happen if you, like, let me just zoom in a little bit. Okay, if you look at this corner, this is multiply. If you set it to darken, it's way cleaner, just because it like adds more contrast to the blend mode, I guess. And by that, it just gets rid of all the small elements. And if we now go to color burn, it gives it a real intense contrasty look. So you can even adjust the intensity of these letterboxes by just playing around with the blend mode. It's pretty awesome. Let's go back to fit. Okay, there we have our letterboxes. And besides all the letterboxes, we also have 3 film perforations. We have perf 1, which is 1 perforation, perf 2, 2 perforations, and perf 3, you probably guessed it, 3 perforations. And it's the same as before, you just drag these on top of your footage, set the blend mode accordingly. This was light 100, and there you go. Pretty easy to use, pretty self-explanatory. Now just for fun, let's try out some 16:9, and let's get the centered one, and we want the clean one this time. Set it to multiply 100, and boom, there you go. Easy to use, super simple, and beautiful results. Just add some perforation to this. Okay, this is just a little bit too far into the frame. Right. Light 100, and boom, there you go. Super easy, super simple, and beautiful results. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. Make sure to check out the 2 packs. They are on my shop right now. The link is in the description below. And if you've used them, feel free to share your results with me. Just send me a DM or an email. I'm really excited to see what you guys make with all the assets. And that's it for now. Hope to see you guys in the next video.